Okay, so when it comes to the topic of shooting down drones and just what that entails, my next guest is an expert. Joel Anderson is the founder and CEO of ZeroMark, a defense tech startup company that builds special firearms for the military and law enforcement to use and take out drones. Great to have you here, Joel. You know, Senator Schumer of the great state of New York, Senate Majority Leader right now, at least for the next few weeks, is asking for, quote, special detection systems to be deployed in New York and New Jersey, asking the Department of Homeland Security for something called the Robin radar systems. Do you know what that is by any chance?
There's a variety of detection systems. Radar is one of the methods that is employed, as well as acoustic sensors. But yes, there's a variety of industry companies out there that are pretty good at detection, and they should be widely deployed in this area.
It's called 360-degree technology. What is that? How does it work?
Just means that a single antenna can scan in all directions around it to actually find drones in the sky and identify them, potentially link them to remote operators as well.
Within about a 3-mile radius?
That depends on the technology, but that's very possible. You can go even further with acoustic detection systems and other methods.
All right. There are reportedly, according to the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, he said there are 1 million drones registered in the U.S. right now. They're widely accessible and they're cheap. And you say they're also very easy to weaponize. How?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, there's controls around things like explosives, but if you look at Ukraine as a good example, it is not difficult to actually weaponize and put payload on even small drones. And I think that's the insane thing when it comes to the authorities that our law enforcement agencies have, have today, which is that they're not allowed to shoot them down without, except in very limited circumstances. I think you mentioned the radar systems. There are electromagnetic solutions to try to, disrupt drones and make them return to base or land. But that doesn't work against a drone that is piloted by or deployed by a motivated adversary that has that intent. Those are very easily mitigated defenses.
Most commercial and law enforcement drones are quite small, but people are reporting seeing drones as big as SUVs. Is that possible? Because we do know that China is testing drones that are quite large.
Yeah, I mean, I think that hobbyist drones are unlikely to be particularly large, and there's diminishing returns when you think about building and just scaling up the size of a drone with a multi-rotor type designs. But it's very possible they can be built and home built. It's not exceptionally expensive to do so. It has reached the point where a great enthusiast could certainly build them themselves.
And shooting one down, that would become like a missile, according to one drone manufacturer. Incredibly dangerous. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Something with mass falling out of the sky is going to cause collateral. And that's why when it comes to the interdiction of drones, the right authorities need to have tools that can help prevent that collateral by predicting the fall path and what's underneath it. They need to be aware of that as well. And systems can help with systems like ZeroMarks.
Yeah, people could get hurt. One drone manufacturer said you shoot it down, that thing becomes a missile. Joel Anderson, thanks so much. Really great to get your expertise. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.